Hello, Gŵyl. Welcome to the festival this evening. It's a delight to have you all back here. This evening, we have a special Japanese edition of some music for you to read along with, drink beer with, whatever you're doing. I hope you're having a lovely evening. So with me to host tonight, I have Lawrence Sperner, music extraordinaire.
Well, I'll take that intro.
Hosted a radio show once.
That's true. For a year.
So we started with the book Where All the Wild Ladies Are, which if you haven't read, I'd highly recommend. It's a wonderful book of short stories that are feminist Japanese ghost stories, and they're retellings of some of the core Japanese ghost stories. But the word I would use to describe them, and always do describe them when talking to people, is delightful. Like, they are just delightful. They are so fun to read. It's also one of my favorite things about short stories is a collection that references itself. So as you go through the collection, you keep getting these characters who are popping up. You learn a little bit more. It's very definitely all happening in one world. So, Lawrence, talk to me. What did you pick for tonight, and what are we in for?
I picked what I believe is a nice mix of different styles of Japanese music. Don't want to claim to be an expert on Japanese music, but I don't know. There's quite a lot of stuff I quite like. So yeah, I've gone for some 70s stuff, some more modern, still sort of going for an earlier style, but released in the past couple of years. So yeah, that's just I won't spoil anymore. I'll talk more about it as we get into the music.
Shall we go with the first song then?
We'll go with the first one. So this is a song that I first heard on a podcast, which I was quite fond of during my last year of university. It was called Bad Travel Podcast. I'll plug it. Why not? It was just a guy, just a dull American guy, having a natter about the places he went to, and he used to choose a song from the country that he was visiting at the time on every single episode, which I thought was quite a nice touch. So this one was obviously the Tokyo episode. It is a song from 1977. It's a song that I also used in a film I made around this time last year. So
where can people watch the film, Lawrence?
The film isn't available for public viewing, but if there was some like serious desire to watch it, then I'm sure they could get in touch with me via you. I'm sure there'll be like a contact point for all the contributors to this Festival of the Arts, and they could, if they listen to this song and feel a burning passion to see the film, it'd be wrong of me to say no, really. So song is style wise is folk rock. I'd probably say Japanese folk rock, done by a sort of pop star of the day, Marita Doji. The song is Japanese name, but its translation is roughly "I Become a Lonely Wind for You," and I think we should put it on. It's a treat.
君を愛しつつだろう時は短く僕たちはもっと短い形のない愛はいつも僕をすり抜けてい つか二人は寂しい風になる明日になれば僕たちは一人どうして生きるだろう君がいないこの朝はもっと寂しい形のない愛はいつも僕をすり抜けていつか一人で寂しい風になる
I cannot explain how much I enjoyed that experience. Wow.
Great song.
Like, yeah.
It's a really beautiful. I think I like the blend of instruments. I think like the sort of violin at the beginning and then a guitar solo at the end, which I'm less of a fan. I think because I used to listen to indie music so much, where every song is like a clever guitar solo. Like you get a bit almost numb to it, and I almost rarely can't really listen to them anymore. But the guitar solo there is just quite, I don't know, it's really nice. It's like it's quite a wholesome feeling listening to it, I think. Because it's not a happy song. If anything, I'd say it's quite a sad song, but it's like I wouldn't say sadness is I mean, maybe that's because I don't understand the lyrics. But even musically, I think it's more of almost a nice wistful feeling. That's what I get from it personally. Not sure if you feel the same, but that'd be how I would describe it.
I certainly do feel the same. I think that was incredible. So what have we got up next?
I want to just go back to the part I used in my quote unquote film was intent. It was a sad comical scene. That was what the music was used for, and I think it suited it really well. The sort of the sadness of the violins, because I would say violin would be an instrument that I would associate with not low feelings, but it wouldn't be like.
Okay, well that's an interesting statement because
I would very much say that I do not have much experience with listening to or anything to do with violins, and perhaps lack of.
Well, luckily you have me as your co-host tonight, who did spend about 15 years of her life learning violin to sort of a slightly below average standard. I spent a lot of time. My favourite bit about learning the violin, if anyone wants to know, was obviously the social aspect and playing in orchestras. But I would say that some of the incredible violin music out there is very sad, but that anyone who is looking for other forms of more uplifting violin music, it can certainly also be found. Although having said that, I was just thinking of like what I was going to recommend when I said uplifting, and then I was like, oh yeah, no, my favourite piece is that orchestral piece by Tchaikovsky, Symphony Number 6, called La Pathétique. And if anyone knows anything about it, it's his funeral symphony, where before he passed, it's unclear whether he committed suicide or if it was an accident, but he was certainly a very tortured man, and he was in love with his nephew. And that symphony has always made the hugest impression on me. And
probably not. It's not Sunshine and Smiles, is it?
not Sunshine and Smiles.
No.
If anyone, like, I would highly recommend. Sorry, this is a long digression now. But it is I think that it's one of those pieces of music that knowing the story behind it is everything, and that having like the privilege to play it, you sort of you become quite well acquainted to it. And of particular interest is the reoccurrence of the Russian Orthodox Church sort of funeral march occurs in the first and fourth movement. So digression over.
Interesting digression.
Yeah. So also I was thinking that you should probably talk a little bit more about your film. You've teased it twice now, so, and I want people to get the right impression of what this film was.
It was a mockumentary. It wasn't a
it was both sad and comical, but it's neither a sad film nor a
comedy.
nor a comedy.
No. Yeah, it's more of just a piece of footage that exists, a piece of horridly edited. Today is actually the 1 year anniversary of my original screening. It didn't go to plan, funnily enough, the exact day.
Is it? Oh, I'm honoured. Thank you for spending your 1 year anniversary in this way.
But yeah, no, I think probably because I would have listened to this podcast only around the months before this, it would have been very much in my mind. And like, I probably haven't listened to this in quite a while, but when I was tasked with thinking of some Japanese music, I thought, you know, I know just the thing to start off with. So I chose this. And I would also like to plug the artist a bit. I think
yeah, please do.
She's just a phenomenal woman, got a phenomenal voice. This album is called About a Boy. I think that's the English translation. And there is this and another album she did either a couple of years before or a couple of years after. Can't remember the name, but it's got a bluish album artwork. That's all I know, but that's all. This album About a Boy and that album are both brilliant. So if you enjoyed that, I would very much encourage the listener to go and listen to both of those pieces of music. The albums are on YouTube, and I'm sure on those YouTube links you'll be able to find places where you can buy the records, etc. So that's Marita Doji. I Become a Lonely Wind for you.
And what's up next for us, Lawrence?
So next, I thought I wanted to choose something which is probably, along with me, along with a lot of other Western people my age, would have been our first introduction to Japanese culture, and that was through video games. So I've chosen a piece of music from a video game, which this new piece of music this video game I didn't actually play as a child. It's called Apex. But it's one of the very classic genre, as people who know these things will know. But I chose this because the artist who made this is an artist that I've seen a few times, and I don't know, doesn't matter. Is an artist I absolutely love, and seeing him live was one of the most. It's the closest like musical performance thing that can be. It would be joy. That would be if you could use joy for one thing on music, it would be that. He's just the happiest man in the world. It's the music's great. He's just having a laugh. He's so happy to be there. He made lots of music in the 90s and music for video games, but then he was picked up on someone Hooney's label. Sort of as Hooney was coming to prominence for like major Western listeners, and then people heard his music and thought, oh my god, this guy's amazing. And he's done several world tours since, and I've never met someone who doesn't like this person's music the person you may already know. It's I might not get this right. Soichi Terada. That's what Soichi Terada. So I think it's I don't know, but I probably should have looked this up before. I was going to actually. I made the note of that in my head, but I must have gotten distracted.
Sorry, all the links will be included. There'll be a link included to the playlist.
Yeah, there we go. So
you need to rely on that.
This is a song from the Apex. So the reason I chose this was because I wanted to capture a bit of my relationship with, or my early relationship with Japan, which is via video games, and video games is amazing music. Because I think obviously it's kind of almost it's like a side part of the video games. No one buys a video game for its music, but like I think it really kind of shapes, even though it's just kind of like bleeps and boops. I didn't like electronic music until I was about 18, but like video game stuff is it. Like I listened to it. I remember music and video games I played as a child because they just had quite a lasting impact. So I thought this was a nice crossover between an artist that I love and a genre of culture that I also love. So I thought this was the perfect crossover. So it's Soichi Terada and it's called Mount Amazing.
Like you all to know that Lawrence Spooner is late back from his going to get water break. The song finished many.
Yeah, it's quite a short song, isn't it?
It is quite a short song, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely much more in the category of what people stereotype, or sort of like a certain aspect of what people in Western cultures are exposed to about Japanese music.
I mean, that is why it's in best-selling video games, because you can't have foreign lyrics in a in a US and UK games.
Really enjoyed it though. Is there anything else you wanted to add about it, or shall we?
I can't think of anything else. I think
you did a great intro. You did a great.
I think I spoke about how it was dissected. Two things I very much enjoy.
I happen to know that the third and fourth song in tonight's music playlist was up for debate. It was up for whatever was feeling right. So Lawrence, which is feeling right to play first for you right now?
I mean, in all honesty, it's the one that's third, because
What? You had no epiphany?
No. This is a song that I actually only found yesterday. It was an artist that I think is quite famous, Tatsuro Yamashita, but I hadn't really encountered. But was it through one of his songs on a radio show? Maybe I Shazammed it, and then I was giving him a listen and really enjoying it. I'm sure there's plenty more stuff because I think he has quite a sizable discography. But this song is just joyous. It's something that we need in these pretty shit times. I think it's just a sort of a brief respite. You can listen and just get taken away and just kind of enjoy almost the nothingness, the little things, the mundanity. It's just a really nice song. It's called Love Space. Should we?
Let's hear it. we had a really good dance to that one, and I hope you guys did too. On this lovely summer's afternoon, I've been sitting down all day, and that was exactly what I needed.
It is quite a beautiful song. I was reading the YouTube comments, and one of them is I'm going to read out now because I think it's worth. There's a saxophone in almost every one of these Japanese hits from the 80s, and I love every bit of it. I strive to bring this feeling to someone else one day with my playing. And a really beautiful comment, and it did quite sum up the feel, mood that the song encapsulates and transmits, whatever. I think, and I don't know. I find YouTube. I like to look at comments on YouTube videos. I think there's quite a. It's one of the nice. I mean, obviously, you still get your.
We don't.
But it's a nice place with the internet, and you just see a lot of it's wholesome, well-meaning.
I love to find my own opinions reaffirmed in them.
Don't we all like to hear we've got excellent music taste from some guy around the world?
So what's coming up next?
This one I based it on your artwork for the book of short stories, and sort of how I felt, or what that led me to. And I let me just record the image. I resisted the urge to, because obviously it's where the wild ladies are, so that would be a path to go down. But I thought, since I'd already done since Marita Doji is a sort of a pioneering woman, which is, I felt like I didn't need to, that wasn't what I wanted to do with this choice. So I went for, I really like the Japanese buildings, the very traditional architecture. And so I thought it made me think of traditional Japan. Not that I was there or anything, but just like how I imagine that and sort of stuff. I wanted to find some sort of traditionally sounding music, and I came across this song by a woman called Umeko Ando, and it's just very sort of traditional Japanese sounds. It's a little bit it doesn't quite have the same naturally uplifting and sort of fun vibe as some of the other musical choices, but I guess that was kind of a biased look at musical culture. So this is I don't know much about Japanese music, but this is to me a more traditional, typical, not that the others weren't, but this is a more sort of older styled sort of thing. So that's what this choice has been, and I hope you all enjoy.
Hachi
이 하에 이 도가지에서 오로 하에 이 하에 이 호지 오시마게다 하지 시도게웨 하지 우도모기 하에 이 도가지에서 오로 하에 이 하지 곧자게다 하지 곧가바게 하지 우도모기 하에 이 도가지에서 오로 하에 이 호지 오시마게다 하지 시도게웨 하지 우도모기 하에 이 도가지에서 오로 하에 이 하지 꼭자게다 하지 꼭다바게 하지 우도모기 하에 이 도가지에서 오로 하에 이 호지 오시마게다 하지 시도게웨 하지 우도모기 하에 이 도가지에서 오로 하에 이 하지 꼭자게다 하지 꼭다바게 하지 우도모기 하에 이 도가지에서 오로 하에 이 호지 오시마게다 하지 시도게웨 하지 우도모기 하에 이 도가지에서 오로 하에 이
I really enjoyed that. I thought that was something really interesting.
Yeah, so I wanna be honest and say that when I'd only actually found that song for this because I thought part of the fun in doing something like this is like, oh, maybe I can find some new stuff that I haven't really listened to. So I thought that I would try and find some more what I perceive to be, I mean, I could be completely wrong, to be traditional sounds. So it led me down a bit of a hunt, and that is what I came up with. And I think it's quite nice. I like it's very like, it's very non-Western style of singing, I think. So that's why I would sort of, whereas like, I guess because I associate like funk and stuff with sort of America because of like the black communities and stuff. So that was very like a Eastern sounding song, probably the most Eastern sounding song I chose, and I thought it was nice and something different. So
yeah,
so that wasn't me like being like, oh, I know so much Japanese music. I was especially found for this show, you know.
And we are honoured for you to have found it. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Okay, wonderful.
So up next, for our fifth song of the evening is Kanpu by Yuki Murata. What made you choose this song for us, Lawrence?
This is a song that is quite a recent song, I think. Although it might be a recent re-release of something that was done in the 80s, but this is something I just heard in a radio show, and it was just I think it was Chinese and Japanese music, and this is just a really nice song that came on. I really enjoyed it, so I thought, you know, I'll pick some that I'm not too familiar with. It's by I also really like the artwork on this song.
Yeah.
They're sort of that kind of, it's kind of video gamey in a way. The sort of palm tree. It's very like, I think it's so much the the label is probably based in LA, I think. So this is Kampu by Yuki Murata.
finishing caught me slightly off guard. It was so much fun. I do hope you guys are enjoying yourselves as much this evening as we are. Lawrence, we can't hear you again. Take it.
Quite a funky number, I would say. Like a bit more what you'd associate with a cool city vibe.
Yeah,
right.
It made me feel like I was on a night out again.
Yeah. Well, those are the days, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have them again. Maybe we will. Who knows? But yeah, no, that is something I heard quite recently, fresh in the memory. Pretty enjoyable track.
So as I was literally editing this with seconds to spare, Lawrence has chimed in and said that he's found a new song that is his new favourite, and I was wondering, how good is it?
Well, I actually found it a few weeks ago, and I've been listening to it a lot since. But I think because the band is called Bread and Butter, it did, even though they are singing in Japanese, like it just didn't like kind of, and the song is in English, Pink Shadow, so it just didn't sort of, when I was thinking of stuff for this, it didn't just strike out at me for some reason. But then I was listening to it just when I woke up this morning, I'm like, I have to put this in the show, as it's been probably my favourite recent discovery of the past few weeks, and it's just a great sort of cheerful spring song. I think they were like 80s, 90s and noughties, so been going for a while. I don't think they're that big, but I'll definitely be listening to them more, and hopefully you all will as well.
I hope everyone enjoys. Here we go.
二人とも妙に静かだった僕のピンクの影の上を二人裸足で一言も喋らず顔も見合わせずに僕らはワルツをとてもうまく踊った愛してるよ君だけを愛してるよ君だけをShadow, pink, pink, pink shadow, shadow, pink, pink, pink shadow, shadow, pink, pink, pink shadow, shadow, pink, pink, pink shadow, let's go, shadow, pink, pink, pink shadow, I see.
どうもありがとうございました。どうもありがとうございました。
So this is our last song of the evening, and thank you very much for all listening. I really appreciate that you tuned in tonight, and I hope you're enjoying Gŵyl, a festival in translation, quite literally.
No one got
a festival in Wales, located in Tintern, at the site of Tintern Abbey. So please do check out everything else that's going on this week. I have a wonderful interview with Maddie from Pyrene Press, and Jay, who translated the book Snow Dog Foot. I also particularly enjoyed my interview with Amy O'Donnell, bartender and huge Italo Calvino fan. She really outdid herself, I think. And also please stay tuned for everything else that we have in store for you. So to play us out this evening, we have this 11-minute song from...
it's 12 minutes actually.
It's 12-minute song from Shinichi Itobi, The Butterfly Effect. And Lawrence, tell us a little bit about this as we end our evening.
So this, I think, is it's a electronic dance music, to use the phrase, song by a Japanese producer who is probably a bit of a cult figure, cult sort of icon in the scene, I would say. And this song, I just think it's captivating. It's beautifully simple. I guess you could argue that all techno is very simple, but it's gentle. It's what you'd play towards the end of the night. If I was a DJ, I'd play this, the full song, towards when everyone's a bit tired and everyone's a bit sort of, rather than like really dancing, just more drifting and floating. And you'll hear soon the some flutes come in, and towards the end of the song, and I probably the most, I'm sure you'll feel it when it comes on. It's a really beautiful piece of music. Like the sort of the kit you'll hear is sort of, it's peaceful. It's not a big thud. It's quite gentle, and it's a peaceful song. And I think it's a fitting ender to this wonderful evening. And thank you for having me on, Caitlin. It's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you've maybe found some new music, or maybe rediscovered some you haven't heard in a while. But I will let the music do the speaking.